while the protracted war on the Boko Haram insurgency raged on, coupled with other daunting security challenges across the country. General Tukur Buratai, while in search of ingenious solutions to ending the war and establishing a defense industrial complex in Nigeria, commissioned an infantry general, Victor Ezugwu, with the onerous task of conceptualizing and designing a made-in-Nigerian war platform. This gave birth to the Ezugwu Mines Resistance Ambush-Protected MRAP vehicle. In this exclusive interview, General Victor Ezugwu shares the inspiration behind this dreaded monster and the impacts and exploits of General Tukur Yusuf Buratai in shaping the Nigerian army.
Good afternoon, sir, and probably maybe that's a good place to start. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank you very much.
How does it feel to be officially, having served the nation so meritoriously?
Thank you very much. And the last, if I add commissioned service, if I add my training in NDA 5 years to my service as a commissioned officer, that will be cumulatively 39 years by September this year. I've served the nation. And the joyful thing about my coming to you here is the first time. First, I'm still processing my papers. And it was yesterday when they appointed the service chiefs, my juniors, both of 39 regular course were made service chiefs, and my junior again was made the CDS. So in line with military tradition, when you're serving, you still have years to serve, but your juniors are asked to come and take over leadership of the military. You don't want for anybody to tell you that your time is up. Luckily for me, I've been expecting it. I'm prepared for it, psychologically, mentally, emotionally, physically. I am ready for it. I was waiting for it to come. In fact, praying for it to come. So you can see the joy in my heart. I'm not one of those who retire with frown face. I'm retiring with joy in my heart, gratitude to God, so happy, so elated, so fulfilled. So I'm really very happy. And thanks for the privilege you give me to talk to me on the first day of my retirement. I count it a privilege.
Yeah. Okay, so for the benefit of our audience, and it's good to start by knowing you. So, who is General Victor Ezugwu, now retired?
Thank you very much. Well, Major General Victor Okudili Ezugwu is a member of 37th regular course of the Nigerian Defense Academy, born on 28th of June 1964. Precisely next week, Wednesday, or a week from today, I will be 59 years of existence as a mortal being. I hail from Ukehe in Ibuetiti local government area of Enugu State. I am a very highly successful military officer who has served Nigeria in various capacities. I earned my promotion as at when due from the time I was commissioned in 1990 till today I'm retiring. I've never missed promotion one day. And I'm glad that my career has blossomed and come to an end. So I have every sense of gratitude to God that I have the privilege to talk to you people here. And in a nutshell, this is who I think I am. Until when you bring further questions, it might enable me to explain further.
Sir, can you take us through the history of Ezugwu MRAP? Like, how did this important innovation come to be?
Thank you very much. In fact, that is the highest point of my career as a military officer. I went into engineering by accident. And I want to give the credit to God Almighty because He's the author of life. He's omnipotent, omniscience. But among mortal beings, the person I'm going to thank and give my gratitude to for this vehicle you're talking about is my mentor, Lieutenant General Tukur Yusuf Buratai, retired. He was the one who saw the potentials in me as the commandant of Depot Nigerian Army, which he appointed me. I gathered the tradesmen among the recruits, those who have handwork, who have artisans. We bring in them, those vulcanizers, mechanics, panel beaters. We bring them to train them to make a career as skilled men in the Nigerian army. Then we bring the general duty, those who are sound, academically qualified, physically, to do the fighting. So I gathered this category of guys when I was the commandant of Depot Nigerian Army between 2016 to 2018. So I gathered them and I said, I want us to produce a vehicle, a small patrol vehicle. I was worried that everything about our mobility as an armed forces of Nigeria, we import them. We don't produce anything. Even small patrol vehicle, we don't produce. So I gathered them together to produce a vehicle, a small patrol vehicle. So I got some consultants, graduates from ABU, some young guys to put them together and go into this research. Their training period is 6 months. But when within that period of 6 months, what started like a dream was marvelous. Nigerian young, some of them don't even hear English very well, but their craft speaks for them. Their talent speaks for them. These guys were able to buy, get a vehicle, remove all the body chassis, and then start constructing the doors, the engine, and also putting things together, tires, everything, until they were able to produce a vehicle. So when they passed out, General Buratai was the special guest of honor, and these guys brought out this vehicle, drove it out to the marvel of everybody. They stripped this vehicle in the parade ground, assembled it back, removed the doors, removed the boots, removed the bonnet, removed everything, removed it bare, and assembled them back, entered this motor, and drove it out again within 10 minutes. It was a marvel. Indian Army did that, and when General Buratai saw that, he quickly believed that the talents and what I have is beyond an infantryman that I am. So he set up a vehicle manufacturing company for Army, quickly posted me there as the general manager or the group managing director of the company. So those same young boys from Depot, we brought them intact and now got more consultants, more engineers to nurture them. From there, we started producing the first variant of this Ezugwu mine-resistant anti-ambush protected vehicle. To the second variant, what we're using now is the fourth variant of it. Research takes time. So as you're doing, you're correcting the mistakes, everything. What we have now is an internationally accepted, standard, beautiful, technically good engineering masterpiece called the Ezugwu MRAP. So that is how the journey started. I read history. I'm not an engineer. I'm of the infantry corps of the army, fighting arm of the army. But General Buratai has this gift of, molding and mentoring officers. When he looks at you, he finds out the kind of, talent you have, the kind of, gifts you have. He helps you as a leader to channel you to where he think you can make a difference. Where there is a challenge, he knows how to place officers well so that they can achieve that result. So that is how I went to DICON now as DG. And from there, this vehicle became a national and global product. And we took it to a very high level. They are still producing them. They are still, 20 units was given to Army just 2 months ago. They are getting another 10 units again to give them. So, and the vehicles have been doing very well. I think that has happened in a nutshell.
Okay, very quickly, sir. Talking about the units that have been produced already, because a quick research shows that it cost the U.S. Army well around $50 million to produce just one MRAP vehicle. For Nigeria, what is the situation like in terms of cost?
Good.
Since you are talking about the mass production,
Thank you very much. Now, that is one of the advantage of local research and development. That is one of the gains of ingenuity and being ingenious in looking for solution to Nigerian problem. What this vehicle has done to us is that it has saved us a lot of foreign exchange. It's making our naira to be strengthened against the dollar, because whatever you are importing, you will not use naira to import them. You will change your naira to dollar and use dollar to pay. But when we started producing this vehicle locally in Nigeria, it all means that both the human efforts, the material resources, raw materials that is required are all sourced within Nigeria. We just get the truck from China, but every other thing that is on top of the truck, from the body, the armored steel, from the surveillance, the furnishing, everything, electrical components, everything is done locally here in Nigeria. Buy all those things from Kaduna, from everywhere, Lagos, and we assemble them. So talking about cost now, yeah, one MRAP import from America gives you in naira close to between 450, 400 million naira to get a unit. Now, when we started Ezugwu MRAP, it just cost us barely 78 million to produce one. Now, because we need to improve on the standard, the aesthetic, the beauty, and the capacity, and off-road and on-road, performance of the vehicle, we went further to increase the everything that we use in the production processes. As of today, even with that, one MRAP, Ezugwu MRAP sell for 200 million naira. So, one unit of it, what you spend to buy one from America can give you 2 or 3 units of Ezugwu. And let me tell you one good thing about this vehicle. Because it is done by Nigerians who understand the difficulties in both weather and terrain and everything, they were able to address most of the challenges that we see in the imported foreign MRAPs. Now, last year, we went for Nigerian Army Day celebration at Owerri, Imo State. All the imported vehicles, along with this Ezugwu locally produced MRAP, was taken to Owerri for a show, like a exhibition, and then drive around as part of our arsenals of war, like a show of force. While they took all the Chinese, the American MRAPs by low bed, they put them on a truck and drive them from Kaduna to Owerri. This Ezugwu MRAP that was taken, 3 of them, took off from Kaduna in a convoy, drove from here to Lokoja to Nsukka to Enugu to Port Harcourt Express Road to Owerri, Imo State, and landed within a journey that started in the morning in Kaduna. Before 7, 8 in the evening, they were in Owerri. Others were taken by low bed, took them 2 days journey to be moving them. When they reach Owerri, they'll come down from low bed for exhibition. But this one, the owner of the road, the locally made production, was moved by road. They drove by road, and drove by road and came back. I'm just using it to strengthen the fact that being produced in Nigeria does not in any way diminish the quality and the ruggedness of the vehicle. So that's just it. I want to just put it on record.
Can you tell us the specific advantages the Ezugwu MRAP has, especially in relation to country security challenges?
The vehicle is meant for multi-purpose. First and foremost, it offers protection to troops, because if the troops, it carries about 12 to 14 soldiers at a go, and all of them, because they are armor-plated steel metal they use in the production, so troops can go through ambushes and they fire at them and it will not affect them. It's an IED, counter IED vehicle. So he provides explosive devices, which is the major thing that the enemy uses against us. If this vehicle goes over it, yes, the vehicle will bear the brunt of the damage. It can damage tire, it can damage part of the chassis, but the troops inside will not be fatally injured the way other soft-skinned vehicles normally cause injuries and death to our soldiers. The vehicle is fitted with communication equipment, so which means that while in operation, the commander of the vehicle will also be communicating with his parent unit and updating him about battle awareness and everything. The vehicle has surveillance devices installed on them, 5 kilometers radius of wherever this vehicle is operating. They put up their surveillance devices, both whether it's day or night capability, and they're able to monitor the environment. So this has all these advantages that ordinary Hilux vehicles, trucks does not have. So the vehicle is a very contemporary vehicle. It is built to withstand current battle, situation, and also offer troops a little bit of comfort while they are fighting. Okay.
Okay, I remember at some point when Nigeria was, trying to get some military equipment from the US and other parts of the world. There has always been this challenge of how Nigerian army of operatives, officials get to master those equipment because it was not made here.
Yes.
Now, in this case, my question here would be that how easy was it for the Nigerian army operatives to adapt their tactics and strategies to effectively use the MRAP vehicles in various operational environments in Nigeria?
Thank you very much for your question, and it's very, very good. That is what advantages you get when you are the one that design, you're the one that produce your vehicle, you're the one that assemble everything. It's ingenious. It's an indigenous vehicle. So now, whatever shortcomings we have in the foreign ones, we'll try to, make up for it because it is we that design these vehicles. So now, the vehicle is designed and built in such a way that it is easy to operate than the foreign ones. So in terms of the electrical component of the vehicle, all the technical components, everything is done. Most importantly is that the spare parts that are used for this vehicle are readily available. The battery, that's a vehicle we bought, the battery we have in Nigeria could not be used in them. We have to import the batteries. But these batteries are local batteries here. There's a vehicle we bought that the tires used for these vehicles, we have to go back to China, some of them to Turkey, to import the tires of the vehicle because the tires are not readily available in Nigeria. But these ones, all the tires are bought at open markets here. All the major components are bought at open markets here, so they're easily available. So the maintenance is very easy because they are all indigenous. And those people, our soldiers who are in charge of maintenance of vehicles, their training and everything is done here. It's not foreigners that come to teach them how to maintain it. It's the producers that are locally here. They speak the same language. If it's outside mechanic, the outside people teach them. So this is our own. We own it because it's our own. And something that is your own, honestly speaking, is better than something that you are getting from outside. And I want to use this opportunity of this interview to encourage Nigeria as a whole. We are too much dependent on importation of virtually everything in Nigeria. It gives me worry. We are growing other people's economy. We are growing their military. We are growing them at the detriment of Nigeria. We produce fuel. God give us a lot of hydrocarbon resources and gases and everything underneath our water and our soil. We thought it's only in the riverine areas and the ocean areas that we have oil. We never knew that in Nasarawa State, in Borno State, landlocked areas, oil are just right there. But see, we have to export the crude oil and import the finished product until it took Dangote to come and begin to produce. Let us use our God-given words and refine them here. So that's the point I'm making, that we need to look inwards. We need to be very ingenious. Research and development should be given very strong capacity in Nigeria. Nigeria has talent. We have a lot of people who can help us in this country. It's just ability of the leaders to identify those that are, that have the skills and competencies, place them very well, support them, finance them, and before you know it, within 5-10 years, everything is working well for us. So these are the lessons and the good things that came out of this vehicle that is good that I share in this interview. So it's easy for us to, because it's our own, it's easy for us to, manipulate, use them very well, and that's one of the advantages we have.
The training and preparation that the military, the army underwent during the maintenance and the operation of this MRAP effectively.
Okay, thank you very much. The producers of this vehicle, they took into cognizance of the fact that training is very, very key. Maintenance also is very, very key to most of these equipments, because one major challenges we have is that as a nation, our maintenance culture is very, very poor and low. You see a door you want to go at now, this door is not good. It doesn't cost up to 2,000 naira. Just get one small knot, tight this thing back. But you see there, everybody, we are used to, I don't know. So in order not to let this happen, the producers of this MRAP vehicle have taken into consideration the need that there should be proper training for all those who are involved in maintaining this vehicle. So it's embedded in the contract format of this vehicle. When you buy a vehicle, Abia State government, for instance, has placed order for 5 units. That's at the cost of 1 billion. Now, as they're producing it now, they're going to hand it over to the military. The producers of this vehicle has a training package that is embedded in the contract sum, so that they will be able to train and retrain people and also assist them, give them basic, maintenance lectures and kits also for the vehicle. And like I said, these things are already available. If you don't have it, they give you 2 or 3 spare tires. By the time that one is exhausted, you can always buy them in open market. Some of the imported vehicles don't have this advantage. So training is key, and it is embedded in the entire contract for this vehicle, because without good training and maintenance, everything goes back to zero. These vehicles are supposed to have a lifespan of at least nothing less than 25 years if properly maintained. So it is a proper training and proper maintenance that will make you to enjoy these vehicles up to those level. But if they give it to you and you don't have trained hands to both drive and maintain it, the vehicle can last as small as 5-10 years and is gone. Because all these vehicles are brand new trucks used in producing this vehicle.
Are there any measures in place or that have been taken to ensure and sustain the availability and readiness of the MRAP vehicles in terms of a business model, for instance, that ensures that look, it's always available and you don't have to fold up?
Yeah. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that apart from the conceptual stage of production of this vehicle, where a civil company, the name is Imperium Industries Limited, produced the first prototype of the vehicle. And subsequently, to give it a boost, General Buratai worked out a partnership between this company and Command Engineering Depot Kaduna, which he is the one that set up that depot. Now, DICON is the government agency saddled with producing of military hardware and equipment for the armed forces of Nigeria. So it's a tripartite partnership between Imperium, CED, and then DICON. So with this now, they are sure of getting government, patronage in terms of all the paper, all the approvals, all the legal framework are very well done. So this is how this thing are sustained now, that even as at 4 years ago that I left DICON as the DG that midwife the production of this vehicle, it is still ongoing. The production is still ongoing. And so, but what I want to commend is the patronage. When you have these vehicles and they're not patronized, it will die. So I told you about Abia State government now patronizing. I told you Zamfara State also place order. The civil defense is placing order. So what they are doing is that they are even changing the design a bit. The army has the franchise for Ezugwu MRAP, but police, they needed some, and they changed the design to suit the police. They color it police color and produce for them. So you see, the thing is blossoming now. A lot of things are happening, and I just told you about army on, but this company is now producing for virtually all the armed forces of Nigeria. And the dream and the expectation is that by the time we're able to take care of all the crises we have in Nigeria, these things can be exported to other countries. And that is when they'll start making much profits from it. Because if locally we're selling 200 million, if Ghana wants it, or if Benin Republic wants it, definitely to be in foreign exchange. And then they're going to get it maybe like 300 or 280 million, which enables us to make more profit. But I just stand to say that because the vehicle is named after me, I am not receiving royalty on the vehicle because it's the government. But now that I'm retired, I think I'm going to make a case for every unit to make because my name is there. At least even if the 1%, they should be able to give me to maintain my retired life, because thank you very much. That's in a lifetime note.
Sir, can you share share any success story or an instance where the MRAP has assured the safety of maybe the military personnel during operation?
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I told you, I'm an infantry officer, and to the glory of God, I'm a very distinguished one for that matter. I was a brigade commander in Adamawa State. I was in charge of the operations that flushed out Boko Haram from Adamawa State, Adamawa North precisely, and before the 2015 election. It took us 3 months, a very big operation we did. From there, General Buratai took me to Maiduguri as GOC. And so from there, I went to depot. From there, I went to Corps Commander Infantry. So I have the fighting arm of the army very, very on my fingertips. You tap me from my sleep now, I can tell you everything that happened about the operation. Now, this vehicle, what we did initially was to get prototypes and send it to the field. So soldiers in Maiduguri, in Adamawa, in parts of Yobe State, they use the vehicle. We make them to write a report to us. So they wrote a report, that's like a feedback. Yeah. They give us a feedback on the performance of the vehicle. Okay. It is not good here, it is bad here because it's a new research. So from there, we have been improving and correcting all these things. So we have been able to test that, and that's why the vehicle has come up now. And if you see the vehicle, I'm quite sorry, I normally don't like talking without her, which is a presentation. Yeah. I will have backed it up with videos, with pictures. We tested this vehicle. I was inside it, and the vehicle was fired at. And the video, we have a video clip on that. So to assure soldiers, if you see the advert, you see where they're firing the soldiers. So soldiers saw all this before they were able to agree to even use the vehicle to fight. Now, when they use your vehicle to fight, and you say it's going to protect them and it doesn't protect them, soldiers will cancel it. We have canceled a lot of contracts. We brought vehicles that is supposed to offer protection to soldiers like MRAP or to APC, but along the line, when the bullets penetrate the vehicles, it will be cancelled. They will withdraw it. But the Ezugwu MRAP has never been withdrawn. Nobody has told us that a soldier died inside it. And as I talk to you, 2023 general elections, the vehicles were used in virtually southeast and other places. And in difficult moments, the vehicle has been used with troops inside it to go through, and they were fired at. So I have instances of that. I have pictures of that. I like to keep pictures. I would have honestly wanted to be a journalist in my career, but it's military that God pushed me to. So I know what it means that once you say this thing, you must prove it beyond reasonable doubt that it is true. So quality and safety is one of the greatest things that this vehicle has done for us. And I stand to tell you that I'm not lying. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay, permit me to do this very quickly, even though I know our time is up. In your responses, you have mentioned Buratai a couple of times. Yes. And I think it's just not out of place to ask, how do you see him as a leader in terms of his visionary, that you have mentioned, leadership that you have mentioned. Now we can begin to run down that.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, in my career in the Nigerian Army, that spanned over 34 years of commissioned service, I've been privileged to fight in Sierra Leone. I've been able to go to war in Liberia, Ecomog. I was in the deep of it. I was privileged to fight in Bakassi Peninsula when Cameroon invaded our land and we fought to get our land back. I was privileged to fight in Warri. We joined the Shekiri War. I was there. I was even shot there. Then I was privileged also to take part in virtually all the contemporary operations in Northeast, from Adamawa to Maiduguri. I don't think any officer in Nigerian Army, with all due respect, from 1964 that established an NDA to this year, I have one of the most outstanding record of being involved successfully, gallantly, and meritoriously in virtually all the operations of Nigerian Army. Now, that's the background. Now, in all these operations I have been involved, in other words, I've passed through several chiefs of army staff from 1990 to today. But General Buratai is the most outstanding military strategist, military general. He impressed me with his kind of leadership. He is a warrior. He's a very good, courageous man. You cannot, if you're not courageous, you cannot make successes in battle. chief of army staff, people tell you that they don't see chief of army staff, you can't be advising and see chief of army staff. And severally, we've seen him troops advancing in front, just 800 meters behind them, their chief of army staff is coming behind with a vehicle. None has done that again. Only him have done that. So in him, I saw a man of courage. I saw a man who has, compassion for his troops and officers. A man who wants his officers to be better than him. He groomed all of us. There is no major general in the Nigerian army from 2015 he took over to when he left us just 2 years ago that General Buratai did not groom to become a very successful officer. So in him, I see a very, very, great strategist, a great leader, military leader, and I want to wish him well in the course of this my interview to say, now that I'm out of uniform, he has been out before me, we are going to the trenches again together on the outer space now for me to continue to learn and tap from his leadership style. I adore him so much, and I wish him well in his future career in the Nigerian army, in Nigeria. I want to assure this country that I'm waiting for the time to come because he understands this country very well. I wish him well, and when the time comes, he can be rest assured we are going to be there to give him the necessary support he needs from us.
Now that you are retired, although you look like you're not tired and all that, yes. So what do you plan to do in the future? What do you plan to do to keep adding value to the country?
Like I said when I started our interview that I am so joyful about my retirement. I'm so glad. I feel so fulfilled. I've already rehearsed and planned what I intend to do on retirement. First and foremost is that I've cautioned myself. Remember, you are retiring from active service. So there is a limit to which your energy can propel you further again. I've cautioned myself that it is your brain now that you can rely on now more, rather than the physical, that kind, physical effort. I've also cautioned myself that the God that helped me to propel my career to the successful level he did, your job has not given you time to serve him well. I intend also to serve God better now because I'm not restricted again. The uniform is no longer restricting me. I've also planned that I don't want to take up a job now that I will continue as if I'm not retired. Even if you like pay me $10 million, that's a job you want to give me now. When I look at the job schedule, I tell you I will not do it. I don't want to. I can't transform from remove my uniform and if I wear this my good civil dress now, I just continue to work again. And no, sir. I don't want that. Then finally, Nigeria project. Some of us are now ready to build this country. I beg God one thing before I die. I beg God to let me see the glory of this country. This is a country that is so blessed. 36 states of Nigeria could as well be 36 different countries. They have resources God provided for all of them, what they can use to survive. But along the line in this country, we have not been getting it well in terms of the quality of leadership we have. So the military career I just came out of has prepared me well to contribute to see the glory of this country. So I am ready now in any capacity that comes from me to add value to see that Nigeria is made a country that poverty is reduced, security is well, the one-ton killing is reduced almost to almost from, I don't know how percentage, but to bring it down to like 5%. Occasionally, we hear that there was something, occasionally, not tomorrow, today, all these kind of things is something that I am now a little bit more disposed to do. Because one thing the military does to you that if you're not a commanding, if you're not in charge, if you're not the GOC, if you're not the this, you cannot exercise yourself very well. So it inhibits your potentials. That's why General Buratai, the moment he identified me, I told you the appointment he has given me. He made me a GOC. He made me Commandant Depot. He made me GMT Vehicle Manufacturing Company. He made me DG Dicon. So these are strategic appointments. And then subsequently, my course mate, General Yaya, made me the corps commander of the infantry. You see, some of us have leadership gifts, ability to organize things together, package things together, and make your workers, your staff, put them very well, raise their morale, take them, and collectively you lead them to success in everything you're doing. That's one gift I have. So as I retired now, I am now praying to God for opportunities to come that I'll be able to, and this my freedom, I will unleash it to make sure that I contribute to the glory of this country. We are not where we're supposed to be as a country. We need to be very far away from where we are now. So my worry now is for me to, join in building Nigeria.
What would be your advice to the newly appointed service chiefs and the army, precisely, on how best to keep Nigeria and Nigerians secure?
Good. Well, first and foremost, I want to state that I know the caliber of the newly appointed Chief of Defense Staff and the 3 service chiefs we have. Something very phenomenal happened in Nigerian military history, which I like to keep, and I refer to it in this appointment. Let me talk about the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Chris Musa. He's a very fantastic officer. He's one of those that General Buratai also groomed again. And those of us in his school of leadership, he has really given us so much to use to work as strategic leaders in the military. So he's been in the theater. I handed over to him as Corps Commander Infantry. It's from there he's coming to take over this office. And I can assure Nigerians, that he is going to give a very stellar performance as the CDS. Things is going to change very, very drastically with these fine officers they've appointed. Now, for the first time, again, we're having an infantry chief of defense staff and we're having an infantry chief of army staff. 2 of them very well seasoned. The infantry is the key core of the Nigerian military, Nigerian army. The success and failure of Nigerian army depends on the Nigerian infantry. And for the first time, they are giving 1 chief of defense staff and another 1 chief of defense staff. The combination of their performance, I'm forecasting, I'm predicting that in the next 6 months, maximum 1 year, Nigerians are going to see something very, very great and fundamentally successful and positive from this leadership. Now, it is also the first time in the history of this country that 3 cosmates will be made Chief of Army Staff, Chief of the Naval Staff, and Chief of the Air Staff. 3 cosmates at a go. The cosmate spirit, the cosmate bonding, the cosmate affection, I don't know how to describe it, but it is the first time it's happening at a go. And I think their cause, if they release their oxygen appropriately on these adversaries of Nigeria, wow, something different and fundamental is going to happen. I wish them well, and I think I want Nigeria to begin to expect something very good from these service chiefs. They are very good guys, and I'm sure that they will not disappoint Nigerians. We'll be there to support them. We'll be there to back them up. They need our prayers. I ask Nigerians to pray for them. In fact, it looks like the security problem we have in Nigeria is more spiritual than physical. I don't know what you are putting so much against this enemy. They are still rearing their heads up, but there's a time for everything. I think with this team in place, there's every hope that things are going to get better. Thank you.
Thank you so very much for your time. It's been a pleasure listening to you, and thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you very much.